Councillor Michael Watson.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. My question is to the Cabinet Member for the Children's Portfolio, Councillor Kendrick. If I may, I'd just like to start by thanking you for that briefing, which I found to be very useful, very informative and very positive, and also to acknowledge your personal commitment to the children of our area, which I also always find to be very supportive and very encouraging as well. But what I'd like to do is I'd just like to turn to the right slightly and turn away from the children and turn to think about carers. And if one looks at the Kirklees Council website, under the heading Breaks for Carers, the website says that getting a break can be vital to help you stay healthy and maintain good well-being. There are a few ways to do this. And then it goes on to list a number of options, one of which is respite care for the person that you care for. Respite care, and the website says that respite care means taking a break from caring while the person you care for is looked after by someone else on a temporary basis. Now, one of the facilities that's mentioned on the website in this context is Orchard View, which I understand to be a facility in Mirfield which should provide respite care for families with children with special needs. And that, as I understand, is in excess of 150 families throughout Kirklees, which would normally rely upon Orchard View to provide much-needed breaks from their caring responsibilities, usually of around 2 days a month. I also understand that Orchard View has been closed since April of this year and therefore has not been providing that respite care since then. Is my understanding of the situation correct? And if so, have alternative arrangements been made to provide these families caring for children with special needs with the respite that they rely upon over the last 6 months? Thank you.
Councillor Kendrick.
Thank you, Councillor, for your question. I know exactly where you're coming from, and there was a situation early this year where 2 young people with additional needs and quite severe challenges meant the only place we could house them was in Orchard View, and it was not seen as safe or appropriate to have other children there. And that was the reason that was closed. My understanding it is open now, but I also have been asking as to what other alternatives we are providing for carers. I am still waiting for an answer on that, but I only asked it a few days ago as such. I am concerned, you know, that we haven't been able to provide as much as we would have done for families during that period. But, you know, it was also about the 2 young people that were housed there, and also about how right it was to have other children in the same environment. But, you know, I should have an answer very shortly, and I will share that with you to confirm that there is provision.
Councillor Watson, do you have a supplementary question?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr Mayor. Just acknowledging a comment that was made by Councillor Scott earlier on, which was to the effect that when we raise these kind of issues at full council, it really should be the end of the road. It really would be taking it to the top, having exhausted all other opportunities, which is essentially why I find myself here today asking these questions. My understanding and the information I have got is different to what you're being told, I think, in that I am being told that this facility is not open. And whilst the needs of these 2 children may be important, we appear to have completely disregarded the needs of the 150 families, or however many it is, that are desperately reliant upon this facility to provide them with respite care from their responsibilities and their caring duties. So following from that, there are a couple of points that you might like to take back as part of your questioning, and these would be these questions. Firstly, is it correct that Orchard View is equipped with specialist lifting? And I can give you these written copy afterwards, but is it correct that Orchard View is equipped with specialist lifting and handling equipment that enables a high level of care to be given to children with very special needs when placed in respite care? Or has the equipment been removed in part or in whole, with Orchard View now being used to provide accommodation facilities instead of respite for carers? And secondly, if it is the case that it's still closed or not operating at full capacity, is there a plan for the provision of respite care to Kirklees carers of children with special needs going forward? And if so, what will that plan deliver?
Councillor Kendrick.
I welcome your list of questions. I am of an age that I can't remember what I had for breakfast, so, you know. Thank you. I understand exactly where you're coming from, and it does seem disproportionate that a lot of carers may have had to wait or have different provision because of 2 young people. But actually, if there is nowhere that we can place those 2 young people, what is it we do with them? That's the issue. I understand one has now moved along, and I think accommodation has now been found for the second one, which is why I think Orchard View is functioning again, but I may be incorrect in that. I welcome your list if you want to give it me at the end, and I will. I'm happy to make sure all councillors are aware of what the situation is.
Thank you, Councillor Kendrick. Councillor